one of the things that my takeaway from the Super Bowl is that Brock Purdy was pressured on 40% of his dropbacks in the Super Bowl. And it really screams out that the Niners need to get serious about probably everybody right of Aaron Banks on their offensive line. Brendel's a street free agent. Feliciano's a try-hard guy who's, hanging on. He actually played well for them. At right tackle, Colton McKivitz, they like him a lot, but they're looking to upgrade. They pick 31. You've probably looked at a bunch of these tackles. There may be as many as 8 that go in round 1.
I'm with you.
They're probably looking at guys like Amarius Mims and Tyler Guyton and Jordan Morgan and the BYU kid and the Yale kid. And what do you think? I kind of like guys like further down the board, like Javon Foster from Missouri and Garrett Greenfield from South Dakota State. But what do you think? I mean, at 31, if they're looking at a tackle, is there one that you think fits them?
Well, you just mentioned 3 in Tyler Guyton and Amarius Mims and Jordan Morgan. Morgan was the left tackle at Arizona. Tyler Guyton's been the right tackle at Oklahoma. I just watched him again today because I saw my buddy Lane Johnson today, and he worked out with them like a month ago. He was back at Oklahoma doing some stuff, and he saw him in the weight room. And, this is a guy that is a freak athlete. I mean, I don't want to compare anybody to Trent, but he's a freak athlete, and he needs strength, and he needs coaching, and he needs work. But if he's willing to do that, and they're willing to be a little patient with him, he might become a Pro Bowl tackle. And I think he can play right side or left side because he's that kind of an athlete. Amarius Mims, he started 8 games at Georgia. He had some injuries. Georgia rotates guys. They do it at every position. So he wasn't out there a lot. But, he's 6'8", he's 340, and he can move. He can run, he can move. Morgan is a guy that looks the part. He looks like a left tackle. And those guys are all going to be at the bottom because none of them are just, going to be stars day one. They're just not ready for it. But if you're patient with them and, you let them grow into their bodies, they're 21 years old, you let them get to 23 and you coach them up, you might get 3 really good players right there.
What about, I don't know how much you've deep dived on some of these interior offensive linemen. Yeah. You were an interior offensive lineman, so I feel like I'm talking to somebody who truly is in the know on this. The guy that really stands out to me when I look at the profile and the film and then start reading the reports is the West Virginia center, Zach Frazier. I mean, he's Baldy. He's smart. He's tough. In high school, he's a awesome wrestler. Yeah. Wrestling as an interior lineman is a great trait great experience to have. He's a 3-time captain. I watch his film. He's overwhelming. He may not be as athletic as Jackson Powers and some of those other centers, but Frazier to me stands out. Could the Niners go with a center at 31 and what do you think of Frazier? Have you seen him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. In fact, I texted a personnel director the first day I watched him, and I just said, can Zach Frazier start at center for you? And he goes, right now, April, whatever it was, March, whatever it was.
Wow.
He's our starting center. Without, literally texting me back in real time. He could be our starting center. This is a good draft for centers. I mean, Jackson Powers Johnson I think he's special. I don't think he's going to get out of the top. If I was Denver and I know they need a quarterback, but if you can't get one, just go fix the offense line. You lost Cushenberry, go fix it. Because I feel like this, Larry, I feel like if your center isn't great, your offense line is not going to be great. Philadelphia has had Jason Kelsey for 12 years, 13 years. They've been pretty much great every year. Helps that the coach has been here the whole time, and Stoutland and all that stuff. But he's been great. And you look at offensive lines that struggle, start with the center. Well, who's your center? And can he get to the second level? Does he call the defense? Does the pocket get pushed? Does he help the guards? All this stuff that center's got to work with everybody, including the quarterback. And I just feel like if your center is average or not very good, you're just not going to be good up front. You're not going to be one of the top 5 offensive lines. It has to start in the middle. So, whether you're looking at Graham Barton, who, is out of Duke, left tackle at Duke the last 2 years, who I like a lot. I think he's going to be a starting center in this league. I think he's going to get drafted as a center. He played center at Duke his freshman year when guys got hurt. He stepped in, started the last 5-6 games. Like, he looks like a center to me. Almost like what Miami did a couple years ago when they took Connor Williams. Was a tackle at Texas, guard at Dallas, not very good, but he went into center and he was really good. I feel like there's 3 guys right there, that you're talking about that all could be starting centers next year in this league.
You played at Duke and in the ACC, a big conference. My favorite guard in this draft is this kid Mason McCormick from who's from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. He wore 60 for South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, and and then we watched at the combine, right? There's always like, hey, do these guys really measure up to the Michigan guys, the Ohio State guys? This guy on the carpet there in Indy kind of demonstrated that he's every bit the athlete that all of them are. And he's just a fighter. He's tough. He's a leader. He's a smart guy. It seems like O-line intelligence is really underrated. What do you think of McCormick? What round do you think he's going in?
He looks like a day 3 guy, top of the 4th round, maybe the 3rd round. I mean, you find starters, in this business, in that 3rd, 4th round sweet spot. Nobody has been better at drafting in the 5th round across the board than the 49ers when you look at the guys that they have from the 5th round. But I feel like you could get starting guards in center in the 4th round. And I feel like that's kind of the sweet spot for him. And you look, the tape is really good. He dominated that level of competition. And that's what you have to do if you're going to come out of South Dakota State and, step into this league. You got to turn the tape on. You got to see him play one. You just got to recognize it. He's got to jump off the tape at you. And that's what he does. Now, Trevor Penning did that at Northern Iowa, but he's just not the athlete that you need. Like, maybe they're going to move him to guard, but he just has really struggled athletically, at New Orleans. So but Mason McCormick, he's not going to get overdrafted. Like, he's going to be the end of day 2, the beginning of day 3. I feel like that's the sweet spot for him.
Is there a dominant guard that you like? Yeah. Mahogany or one of these guys? Is there one that stands out? Cooper Beebe, like K-State.
State. Yeah, you watch him against Texas, and you watch him against the interior, those defensive tackles at Texas. Like, nothing to it. Like, he stands right up next to him. Christian Haynes at UConn is a really good player. He reminds me of Nate Davis, who came out of University of Charlotte a few years ago. He's a starting guard for the Bears now. Like, he wasn't very good his rookie year in Tennessee, but by the time he got to the 2nd year, like, Derrick Henry and that offensive line was rolling. And, they were the number 1 seed in the AFC. They were running it. He was a big part of it. Like, he really, his power, not the biggest guy, but his power and ability to move bodies. I see that from Christian Haynes. I see the same thing. And you just watch him. He's putting guys down on the ground pretty regularly. I like both those guys right now. And, the guys in Michigan are really solid, whether it's Keegan or Minter or Zinter, like all those guys inside for Michigan are solid players.
Yeah. Keegan, I think, was the team captain.